Welcome to 843 TV. I'm your host, Will Wareham with WHHI-TV.
And I'm your host, Carrie Manning with Heritage Dental Spa and Salon. Today we are here in Jasper County, and we're here at the Jasper County Chamber of Commerce. Our first guest is Mr. Marty Sauls. He is the chairman of the Jasper County Council.
And our second guest is Mr. Joey Malfris, who is the mayor of the town of Ridgeland.
And our last guest is Mr. Harry Williams. He is the mayor of the city of Hardeeville. And from all of those of us that were affected by the aftermath of Hurricane Matthew and looking for more information on FEMA, please go to their website at DisasterAssistance.gov for more information.
And stick around for more 843 TV,
where communities come to speak.
.843 TV, where Bluffton comes to speak.
Where Spring Island comes to speak.
Where Hilton Head Island comes to speak.
Where Beaufort comes to speak.
.843 TV,
where communities come to speak.
Welcome to 843 TV. We're here with Mr. Marty Sauls. He is the chairman of the Jasper County Council. Thank you for being here with us this morning.
I'm glad to be here, Carrie. Thanks for having me.
A little calmer than it was a couple weeks ago.
Thank goodness very much.
Yes. So how did Jasper County prepare for Hurricane Matthew?
Well, you know, I don't know that you truly can be 100% prepared, but you take the information that you have from history and try to apply it to, you know, that time. So I think that's what our county did. We worked together with our department heads from engineering, emergency services, law enforcement, Jasper County Fire and Rescue, for example. And we came together and created a plan that was going to be precise and efficient to try to notify our citizens of the dangers of what was going on and potential hazards that this storm would have for our citizens in our county. So we implemented that plan. And then in conjunction with, you know, our surrounding counties with their plans together, we all worked together well as a region to try to inform our citizens of the path of this storm, what to expect, and, you know, the options that they would have both in terms of shelters, evacuation routes, emergency preparedness, trying to make sure to protect their homes, you know, in the event of evacuation, et cetera. So, you know, there were many different components, and the county, I believe, did a fantastic job.
Absolutely.
In my opinion, and of course my opinion is biased being from Jasper County, but you know, we work well together with our municipalities and the county as a whole because we're all one in the times of a crisis like this. So, you know, just communication was a big key in that process.
Chairman Sauls, from a county perspective, what support services were most important for the county residents?
I believe the emergency response, Jasper County Fire Rescue and our law enforcement, knowing that, you know, in the time of this crisis that, you know, we're going to be there to protect your home, we're going to be there to help you. If there is an emergency, whether it's a medical emergency or, you know, just trying to evacuate and make sure that you have everything in order to do so. Make sure your family's safe and that you do proceed in an evacuation in a kind of, everybody's in a patient, but they're all in a hurry, so to speak. You know, you need to be patient, but we want you to hurry. So it's kind of that's a hard plan to implement, but you know, the shelters were huge for us. We had at one time over 1,000 people in our shelters. So that was a huge resource because it's amazing how many people do not have, you know, friends or family that they can go stay with that are out of harm's way, and the ability to, you know, most hotels were booked up in a hurry. I mean, even in Atlanta, Columbia,
was full. Columbia, they're all full.
I mean, and you think about it, it's not just us. It's state of Georgia, state of Florida, North Carolina. I mean, you've got the entire East Coast on an evacuation program. So it was a well-implemented plan, and you know, I think that the emergency response side of any evacuation in times of a Category 2 or any 3, 4, whatever the situation might be is probably the most important, to know that you have the emergency personnel in place, whether it's the law enforcement or medical or fire rescue, to make sure that you're evacuating in a safe manner and that you'll also return home to a safe environment.
Chairman Sauls, what process is in place to evaluate the county's performance before, during, and after the hurricane?
Mayor, that's a good question, and that's something that even ongoing that we were taking into consideration. How are we going to use our experience to make sure that if and when there is a next time that we have a plan in place that's even better than what we've implemented this time. So, through a very strenuous communication plan, we've been able to document data from certain situations throughout this process in order to record it so that we can go back and review it and work with the city of Hardeeville and the town of Ridgeland on how we as a county as a whole can do a better job. If there's certain techniques or procedures, even if it's communication as far as the social media aspect, because when you don't have power, there's no TV. Right. So most of the time people use social media such as Facebook, which our county took advantage of that to try to help spread the word and give citizens some type of update on the situation at home, so that they know, yes, there's power lines down, there's trees down, there's flooding. Give us, the county, the opportunity to move some of these dangers out of the way, have them taken care of so that you can return home and do so as expeditiously as possible, but also be safe, when you do return. So just trying to, record those different events and review it. And I believe at some time, maybe the municipalities in the county will get together and review those with department heads and just talk about things that we can do better in the future or plan better, whatever that situation might be. But and working with the state agencies too, the National Guard was huge, SLED, the state emergency management team from the governor's office, the IMT team that came down from upstate to help us, that are experts in natural disasters like this. We were all able to work together and document procedures throughout this process in order to enable us to go forward in a better manner if and when this happens again. So.
Yes, sir.
Marty, in your opinion, I remember when Governor Haley called for the evacuation, I think it was like the Tuesday prior to the storm. In your opinion, was that the right call?
It certainly was. I mean, you think about the enormity of what she did and how important it was. You look at the amount of people that live along the coast of South Carolina alone. Mm-hmm. And when you're trying to evacuate hundreds of thousands of people in the same direction, that's very challenging.
Yes.
Well, and a lot of them are barrier islands. We have two-lane roads. Mm-hmm. It's very different from, say, Florida or Georgia.
Right.
And that's when a lot of people were like, Tuesday, it's not going to hit till Saturday. Famous last words when y'all are trying to get out.
Absolutely. And, I think it was in two phases. You had the immediate evacuation that took place on that Wednesday at 3 o'clock. And then you had the people who wanted to stay around until maybe Friday and say, well, is the storm really going to hit us? Well, by Friday, people had a really good idea, and I think it was a second wave of evacuees. She certainly did a fantastic job, and I had the opportunity to talk with her chief of staff and her cabinet members maybe 6 or 8 times throughout the storm to work on reentry plans for Jasper County specifically. And I'm proud to say that Jasper County was probably one of the first coastal counties to have the ability to allow their residents to re-enter before anybody else did. And all that credit goes to the municipalities and the county engineering departments and their disaster recovery plan that they initiated and also our utilities. We can't forget our utilities. So many people to thank. But we'll do that on another day. But the plan came together well, and they were very efficient in creating a safe transportation route to get home, and also updates on safety for citizens when they do return.
Right.
So, yeah, it was. She made the right call, and she did it. Kudos to Governor Haley.
Absolutely, and kudos to you, Marty. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And stick around for another segment of 843 TV.